Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy CPT, aka the Captain, coming at you from the Dark Side Empire. Welcome to another episode of Knowledge is Power. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that I think would benefit a lot of people. It's going to be self reflection. In case you didn't know what self reflection is, I'll give you a little brief overview of it. Self reflection is basically pretty much what it is. You're kind of looking in the mirror, looking directly at yourself, kind of what you see, what you can improve on, and go from there. All of this is about building a better you, living a happier life. You know what I mean? Not to live up to other people's expectations, but kind of live up to your own, and to just kind of have a better, happier life. You know, we're going to cover some of the points that you can cover when you're doing some self-reflection. This is important because honestly, I believe that if you don't have a positive view of yourself and you don't love yourself, it's going to be kind of hard for others to love you. You know what I mean? If you're down in the dumps all the time, you're sad, moping around, and you want people to love you, they're not really going to love you. They're going to love you, but not genuinely love you, because I think love of yourself, you know what I mean, has to come before others can love you. You got to love who you are inside and out, your flaws, your weaknesses, your strengths, everything about you before other people can really, you know what I mean, take the time to get to know you and really love you, you know what I mean? It takes a lot for other people to kind of open up to you, to really love you, but, you know, taking some time out here and there, kind of breaking down different things that you think are you're good at, different things you're not so good at, things you need to improve on, where you want to go, kind of looking at a whole. I want to take self-reflection as looking at yourself as a whole. Your physical well-being, your mental well-being, you in a full circle, everything all conjoined into one to make you a better you, to make you feel better about yourself, you know what I mean? Honestly, I think self-reflection comes that you're not worried about what others think about you, you're more or less worried about how you feel about you. You know what I mean? If you feel good about you and you're confident in the way you are, nobody should ever be able to bring you down. This kind of falls back into that other topic I covered. If you haven't seen the video about resilience, make sure y'all check that out. But you know what I mean? You know, looking at yourself, loving yourself, you know what I mean? One of the first things we're going to talk about here with self-reflection that you can question, you know, jot down, write these thoughts down on your strengths. What are you good at? What things in life are you good at? Are you good at being organized? Are you good at attention to detail? Are you good at being on time? Are you good at, it could be anything, you know what I mean? Like I said, we're looking at this as a whole. Are you good at cooking? Are you good at cleaning? Are you good at talking to people? Are you good at playing games? What are you good at? Look in the mirror and see what you're good at. What are some of your skills? What do you possess that you're really good at, that you can build off of and build on top of? You know what I mean? And we're trying to do this so we can break out of habits so you can get the best you possible. Don't worry about what other people think about you as far as your strengths. Oh, so you're good at video games, you know what I mean? Hey, there's a lot of people that I know that aren't very good at video games. Video games does take a high level of intellect for you to be able to beat these games or strategize and beat them. So it is a strength or a skill, you know what I mean? And other strengths you can have if you're well organized, you know what I mean? You keep things tidy, you know, that's something that's good. Bringing out your strengths is bringing out the goods in you. It's always easy to call out what you're good at, you know what I mean? Some people that have a lot of self-doubt, it's a little bit harder, but this is kind of, you know, we're trying to build ourselves up with some self-reflection, you know what I mean? Looking in the mirror, what am I good at? You know, I stay clean, I'm well dressed, I keep my hair trimmed, I'm able to maintain a job. We're looking kind of at the whole world, kind of, you know what I mean? What are you good at? Not just your inner self, you know what I mean, but everything as a whole. You know, your strengths, what you're good at, you know what I mean? And that, you know, to build yourself up, you can add to those strengths. You know, if you're good at cleaning, you know what I mean, add to that strength. You could apply that if you don't have a job. You can apply that to that field, you know what I mean? And use your strengths to help build you up, change your way of thinking. Well, I am good at this, so I am going to be able to get out of this hump because I got these different strengths that I'm good at and that I'm able to do. But always take a second to reevaluate your strengths. Sometimes what you think are your strengths or your top strengths could be something else, and you might be able to build on that and move further in life. All right, the next bullet we're going to hit on here is your weaknesses. You know, a lot of people, some people are very like to really critique themselves, and they're really hard on themselves, and they like to pinpoint their weakness. Some people, it's kind of hard to see their weaknesses, you know what I mean? I know one of my weaknesses, to open it up to y'all personally, I'm not very good at communicating. That I could say is, you know, my self-reflection is one of my weaknesses. I don't like talking, opening up to people, kind of shut down, you know. That's one of my weaknesses. What could be one of yours? You know, are you easily distracted? Do you lose track of time? You're never on time. You know what I mean? You keep losing jobs. You know, I guess you could say it's one of your weaknesses, which is technically not a weakness. If you're happy with the way you're living, you could say you're overweight. It's one of your weaknesses because you don't like your physical appearance. But based on your physical appearance, you know what I mean? You be happy for you. If your physical appearance, you're happy with it, don't worry about what anybody else has to say about it. You know, when it comes to weaknesses, it's things that you think you can improve on. You know what I mean? Things that you think you can improve on and build them up, and hopefully sooner or later they will be one of your strengths and something that you will be able to say, hey, I'm actually good at that. I overcame this and look at me now. You know what I mean? I was never on time. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to set my alarm 15 minutes early, make sure I wake up, you know, get to where I need to be on time and turn that into a strength. You know what? I used to be late. Now I'm on time. I'm timely. You know what I mean? I'm 15 minutes prior to anything I got to do. The next one, we're going to look at your skills. What skills do you have? What are kind of like your strengths, but what are you good at? What do you, like I said earlier, video games, cooking, cleaning? This can fall kind of hand in hand with that category. What are you good at? You good at talking to people? Are you good at exercising? Are you good at, like, you know what I mean, working? Good at reading? Any kind of skills, you know, you can list in there. Because like I said, we're kind of looking in the mirror, looking on ourselves. We're kind of building a little profile so we can kind of like a pick-me-up. Where do we need to build on? Where do we need to improve? What do we need to do to kind of move forward in this life and live the happiest life that we can live? The next thing we're going to look at is the problems. You know, what problems do you have in your life? You know what I mean? As far as work, home, you know, family members, could even be, I don't know, like I said, work, car problems. That tends to bring out a lot of stress. What are some of the problems that are affecting you and distracting you from meeting your goals? I know stuff happens, things happen. Like I said, if you're trying to go to school but you're failing because you're distracted by all this other stuff, you know, you got to kind of set some of that stuff aside so you can focus and make sure you know exactly what you want in this life and keep moving forward. The next thing we're going to be talking about is achievements. What have you done? What have you achieved? You always got to look at your achievements so you can know where you've been, what you did, what it took to get there. You know, if you're, like I said in one of my videos about weight loss, I needed to do it for me. It wasn't because of what people were looking at me. It wasn't because I felt that I was overly huge or anything like that. You know what I mean? I did it because I have back issues. I needed to lose weight. What have I achieved? I've lost enough weight, but I still got the issues. You know what I mean? But I have achieved that. You know, you got to always look at the past to see what you did to move forward, and doing that you can implement that to the problems that you are having so you can continue moving forward. Next is going to be your happiness. What are you happy about? What makes you unhappy? You know what I mean? Like, what makes you happy? Sports, games, being with family. What makes you unhappy? You know, bad situations. For me personally, confrontations. I don't like confrontations at all. They make me, I guess you could say, yeah, unhappy. They make me uncomfortable, unpleasant. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff I got going on and makes me, you know what I mean, irritable, stuff like that. So you gotta label that. So based on your happiness, if you want to be happy, maybe you need to make some more achievements. Maybe you need to solve some more problems. Maybe you can implement some of the skills that you have, you know what I mean, to build on those weaknesses and then to be able to hit some of those achievements. Last but not least, you know what I mean, we're gonna do solutions. What can you do for yourself to improve these areas? Just like I said, some of these areas go hand in hand. You can build off one another. Like I said, your happiness can all come from your achievements. Look at what I did. Look where I was. Look where I came from. Look what I had to do to get here. You know what I mean? And I was able to achieve that. Your problems get solved. You know, it can make your happiness. What do you do to solve your problems? You implement your skills and your strengths, put those two together, and you'll be able to solve some of these problems. Your weaknesses, yeah, they can bring you down, but you don't really see your weaknesses as much as you do, you know what I mean, the problems, because your weaknesses are there, but in the same sense, they may cause some of the problems. But if you can improve your problems and build upon your strengths and implement your skills, then you will be able to improve on those weaknesses. Like I said, this video is to basically give y'all a little bit of information about self-reflection. You know what I mean? If you got a chance to do it, get a pen and paper, write it down. Strengths, weaknesses, skills, problems, achievements, happiness, solutions, and write everything down. You know, take a look from the outside looking in. And like I said, I'm a big believer that, you know what I mean, you got to love yourself before you can get people in the outer world to really love you and care about you the way you really want them to. If you're not happy with yourself and you don't love yourself and you don't have a positive view of yourself, if you do this list right here and your strengths are like 2 and you got like 15 weaknesses, that means you really don't think very highly of yourself, or you really don't think that you can really do that much. As far as achievements can be a lot of different things. You've got a car, you've got a job, you know what I mean, you graduated. There could be a lot of different things that fall in there, and your solutions are like, what are you going to do to make it better? You know what I mean? Building yourself up is part of, like I said in my last video, being resilient, bouncing back, you know what I mean? Molding yourself into the best possible you. And by molding yourself into the best possible you, I'm not talking about what you see on TV. I'm not talking about supermodels. I'm not saying about, you know what I mean, being the fastest guy in the world, about being the fittest guy in the world. I'm talking about, you know what I mean, being the happiest you. You could weigh 400 pounds, you know what I mean? I'm not condoning that. Hey, as long as you're happy, you only got one life to live. Live your life, be you, you know what I mean? I've said it a couple times in some of my videos, do you. Don't forget about the whole world and do you. Do what makes you happy, because there's only one life you live, and you live it for not everybody else, you live it for you. And by doing some self-reflection, you can take the time out of your day, a couple times a month, a couple times a week, however many times you need to do it, and list these different things and go ahead and put it into perspective how you're viewing yourself and where you think you could have some improvements. Yeah, there's going to be people on the outside that are really going to be willing to tell you, hey, oh, you're good at that, oh, you suck at that, but that anybody can do that, you know what I mean? It takes a lot for somebody to dig deep within themselves and be like, hey, yeah, I'm not very good at communicating at people. What can I do to communicate at people, or communicate to people when I'm down or I'm mad or something? I can, instead of walking around just being quiet, I can tell them, hey, it's not you, it's me. I'm going through something. Slowly but surely, even opening up and apologizing, you know what I mean? Part of that communication. It takes time. Like I said, this won't happen overnight. I know it's going to be tough for the first couple of times when you decide to do it and try to do it, but it is a good technique to practice to help build your self-confidence and help build a better you. Like I said, overall a better you. You know what I mean? Like I said, this could have to do, all of this could fall down to your, like I said, we're not looking at just your inner and all that. I'm kind of making this video to let y'all, even with your outer, you know what I mean, your appearance. If you think your appearance is one of your weaknesses, and that's because you think and not because you see on TV that this is the way people are supposed to be, that's what people are supposed to look like. Nah, don't look at people like that, like that's what people are supposed to be. Nah, as long as you're happy, you're living your life and you're doing you, you know what I mean? Hey, what's more to live for, you know what I mean? Like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Those are a couple of different points that you can label and write down, you know. Look in the mirror, take a look at yourself, you know, reflect on yourself, love yourself, you know, that's part of being resilient. Love yourself, develop yourself, you know what I mean? As long as you can develop yourself, ain't nobody gonna be able to break you down. As long as you know where your faults are at, nobody else should be telling you where your faults are, because you should already know as a person. As long as you're reflecting on yourself and you're developing yourself, you should already know that. So nobody should be able to break you down, batter you, you know what I mean? You should be able to do whatever you need to do whenever you need to do it, and live a life as happy as you can. Like I said, this video is mainly to you know, give y'all a technique that y'all can use to help better yourself, you know what I mean? Build yourself up and help mold a better you. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Your boy CPT, aka the Captain. Make sure y'all you know, like, subscribe, share. Knowledge is power. I firmly believe that, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, peace.